Hey guys, welcome to On with On. Today I have Rell with me, and I also have DJ FX. How are you guys doing today?
Blessed to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. All right. Well, definitely I'm gonna get into this interview with both of you guys. I'm gonna start with Rell. I do want to do like a reintroduction. Just my audience know like where are you from and all of that good stuff.
Well, I'm born and raised in Beaumont, South Carolina. All hail, Orangeburg County. We up in the mix. My name is Rell. For those who don't know me, I was formerly signed to Roc-a-fella Records as their first solo male R&B artist, and went on to become a Grammy nominated songwriter. Lots happened in between, but it's good to be here with everybody. Still repping the South, and now we back, back in the mix with DJ Effect Sound and the team that we have here, my partners. And Welcome to the South is the anthem. And we're trying to make this a household thing, especially for, everybody in the South, Southeast, and everywhere with it. They have a South Side or a Southeast, or, we want everybody to take it on. So that's where we are.
For sure. And I do love that record, by the way. Now, do you write your own music, and you wrote all your own music in the past as well?
Predominantly, yes. Everything that you heard from me, I pretty much wrote or was a part of the writing process.
Okay. And who were some of like your music influences growing up? Like who did you study and who was like that heavy influence on your sound?
Wow. Hip hop, R&B, and gospel. Gospel quartets, mass choirs. That was pretty much my starting point. Everything was church. Grew up in a Baptist church, so that was the platform. That was the stage, if you will. And so I got into the spiritual aspect of vocals first, and then I got into secular R&B. Donny Hathaway and Marvin Gaye and a lot of 90s vocalists, Peebles, Brian McKnight, the Boys the Men, Jodeci's, go back a little further, Troops, Surface, Ready for the World. Anywhere where there was vocal inspiration that I could draw from, I was pretty much emulating everything at the time, trying to find my own sound. So I picked from everywhere. Then we got hip hop. How far can we go back?
There's a whole list.
Yeah. So I touched from everywhere and I pulled from everywhere to, pretty much find who I was. And so it was all three. It was gospel, it was R&B, and it was hip hop. It's too many to name, so many great artists came before me. So, I just had to say I drew inspiration from wherever there was art and inspiration to draw from. So that was a lot of places for me.
Yeah, it's crazy you mentioned the mass choir. Like my grandma used to always play, I think it was Mississippi in the mass choir. She used to always play those. And it was just so spiritual and their voices.
You had some powerful vocalists out there, like James Cleveland, and you had a lot, like I said, to motivate you. And so predominantly for me, and I got to shout out gospel again, because it was just the time that I was in. Quartet gospel was very popular. There were concerts, there were shows all the time. And, these were grown men on stage. And, I was thankful that I was able to capture that essence as well. That particular time that I came up in, there were grown men out. And, their R&B was different. They sang in a grown man's vibration. They didn't have to say much, and so I pulled from that as well. I wanted to be grown. I wanted to be a man's man. I wanted to speak for men while speaking to women in a way that they want to be spoken to. So it was that tightrope that I always wanted to walk, because it just felt like that was all, all the complete artists or artists that were deemed complete to people. They
Yeah.
had the ability to do that. The guys wanted to be them, and the girls wanted to be with them. And I wanted to have that, that mix.
Right. So that was that nostalgic. That's just how it was. Um,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? I was watching a lot of like bios and I'm just like, wow, the music's changed, you know.
Changed greatly.
It has.
It's changed greatly. Me and FX, we laugh about that sometimes. And you know, I used how grown men didn't have to say much. Teddy said, "Turn off the lights." You knew what time it was.
Exactly.
Marvin said, "I've been really trying, babe." You knew what time it was. Like they didn't have to say much, and
Exactly.
because it was, that vibration that they were on with themselves and their audience, and music in general. So I wanted to have that. I did,
Right.
I wanted to have that essence, in what I do. So I pull from all those places. Not to get long winded, but
Oh no, you're
yeah.
fine. And have you written for other artists as well?
I, I have. I've written for quite a few. Uh, a who's who in hip hop. As far as features with basically everybody from mid to late '90s to early 2000s. R&B. I wrote for Carl Thomas, Grammy nominated for Usher. Wrote for Nicole Ray, Tweet,
Wow.
Music Soul Child. Um, uh, Wrote for Jamie Foxx, didn't make the cut. So just all over the place, man. As far as the creative
Wow.
process, yeah,
I didn't know that. That's new for me. That's amazing. I loved Nicole Ray and
that's a great girl. Yep.
yeah. And speaking of Carl Thomas, I remember it was wasn't it a project you guys were supposed to do together? Like a
We were we like it was Carl and someone. I wasn't a part of that.
oh,
It
okay.
wasn't supposed to be me. When me and Carl were working together, it was through Mike City at the time. He had a lot of hits. Sunshine Anderson, he broke ground with her.
Oh yeah.
So you know, and so it was basically, again that creative process, and we were both working on projects at the time. So that was what
Okay.
pretty much did it. But I don't think we were ever supposed to, merge as a group. So
Hmm.
that might have been him and some other gentleman. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Um now I listen to this day. I still play Love for Free. Like the way you came on those vocals is just and everything else, but that's like the song that I play the like I play it the most, like all the time. Like
Wow.
I'll be in the car, I'm like, you know what? Let me put on this Love for Free, and I just be jamming, you know. I
Wow.
just think it's like a timeless piece, like the way that you're singing, and like what inspired you to like write that song?
Let's see. I've always been a strategist, Vaughn. So, um, I didn't write much without, trying to envision where it was going, who it was going to, and just trying to be sure that it was authentic. So at that time, I'm guessing 21, 22 years old. Uh, I was just thinking about making my mark at Roc-a-fella, getting at the ladies, and trying to make them feel this country drip. Back
Mhm.
then, and so which is very early because when I got with Roc-a-fella, the South didn't even have its sound yet. While I was up north, Crucial Conflict dropped Hay in the middle of the barn. So I was already a part of the northern music demographic,
Uh-huh.
when the South started to rise. So it was a little different for me. It was a little different. So I wanted to be sure that they knew I was country. So I stayed saying I'm from South Carolina, stayed repping Bowman, Orangeburg, those things. So but at the same time, I wanted New York to embrace me. So, I adapted to their sound as far as production.
Right.
To so it's always been strategy. The do it till you satisfied loop, all these things. It was old school. It's got a funky feel. It'll put us in the club. It would have us in radio in cars.
Mhm.
Um, and so it was just give it some drip, just give it some swag, say things that, a 22-year-old guy who's on his flyness would say. And
Right.
that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it. You know,
My
I just
favorite
let the
part,
lyrics
like
come.
I'll bust out singing that favorite part, even though I can't
Uh-huh.
sing. That I said I randomly just bust out singing my favorite part. Where you be like, "Apple of my eye." I love that
Wow.
part. It's just be
I don't
so
know where
lit.
that came from. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Really?
I don't know. Once I know who I'm talking to, I just let the lyrics come. I don't focus on the
Uh-huh.
writing. You know, I focus
Okay.
on, you know, what this track is doing, where I see it going, and who I see it going to. And you know, once that happens, if it's a crowd, then I'm singing to that crowd. I'm at a
Yeah.
microphone, but all I see is that crowd. You know,
Right.
if I'm speaking for the soldiers, then you know it's a room full of gentlemen that I'm looking at while I'm at the microphone. If I'm speaking to a female, it's one beautiful woman.
Right.
She takes the place of the mic. So even though I'm at the mic, I'm already singing to who I'm directing the song to. So the lyrics come. I don't know
Right.
where apple of my eye, sweet cherry surprise came from. It just came, you know. And
Right.
so, and then being at Roc-a-fella, you hone in on the fact that you know music is about passion. They teach you that there, some verbally, but mainly by example, especially Jay.
Hmm.
Um, basically a pen and a pad is a middleman. And
Right.
you know, we in the business of being bosses. So that's how we were trained in that school of hard knocks. So I didn't write a lot. I didn't write a lot down. I would do what the rappers do. I would go in and, lay maybe 8, 12 bars, listen to it. Okay, I like that. Let's keep going until
Right.
the song is done. So basically,
Yeah.
everything that you heard from me was done that way. We go back and write the lyrics later on to turn them in for credits, but we didn't write lyrics when we were creating. Most of us.
Now, before I start streaming that again, are you getting your like credit for that?
Oh, definitely. To this
Oh,
day.
okay, because
Yeah.
I be streaming it a lot. I just want to make sure now, because I'll stop it. Like, all right, well, if you
Oh,
ain't
no,
getting
no,
the
no,
credit, okay.
no, 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 no need to stop. No need to stop
Okay,
it.
cool.
Yeah.
But
I,
you know
I'm
what I
definitely still seeing
appreciate?
what I should see. So.
Yeah, okay, good, because I do play it a lot. Now, like when it comes to like music from like, man, from like I want to say like the early 2000s and back, like I appreciate like the bridges and stuff, and I just think that's timeless. But now it's like the songs stop at like 2 minutes on the radio now. Like, how do you feel about like the importance of like R&B, like the structuring of it now?
Well, I feel like and that's a good point that you made. I feel like the production has changed, greatly. I came into the music industry in a time where you added to the track as it went along, and now they seem to, take away from it. Simplicity is better. And look, things evolve. Tables turn,
Hmm.
and that's just, part of the process. You evolve with it, and that's why I call myself an ever evolving man because things are always changing. But
Right.
um, I do like certain aspects of the new music. I
Yeah.
like the fact that they're not as focused, I would say, conceptually on creating standard songs. They're definitely expressing more so their own uh 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 brand of, you know, First Amendment. And so I do like that aspect. I do like the the pushing of boundaries and barriers and the fearlessness that the new generation has. I like
Right.
all of them. All of that is inspiring. It's the only thing that I don't like you said, because the production has become, so I guess squared,
Hmm.
you know, um, because of the sound. It's a very digital sound now, and the production becomes squared because of it, which does not really give the artist or the fan base, the opportunity to expand on the things that they feel and expand on the things that, they're going through, because the emotion is not in the music, right?
Right.
The tracks are monotone, they're dark. The emotion is not in the music, where, Earth, Wind and Fire. I mean, if if they weren't singing, you could still just the music was emotion. Sade, the music was emotion. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Luther, the music was emotion even when they weren't singing, because that was the dance back then, and now
Right.
it's just a different dance. So I wouldn't say that it's gone. What I would say is that artists need to, really put some weight, on the bottom portion of the body as far as how they stand and
Right.
what they're going to allow themselves to give people. Um, I get it. There's a machine, but we're in a time where, I mean, quite honestly, you're not at the machine's mercy anymore. And but it's still very early in that, breaking away from, the industry mentality, per se,
Right.
because there's so many ways to success now that have anything, nothing to do with the industry. So it's still very early, but I'm looking forward to a change where, artists, they finally understand, like, hey, I don't have to do that anymore. I can do this and do well. And once they build that confidence in themselves, it's on. So I see it from both sides, but I also see, a positive outcome, from our present state. I see a positive outcome from that.
Me
So I'm
too.
looking forward to it. Yeah.
I feel like it's
And
gonna
as a
make it
gatekeeper,
segue
I'm
back.
definitely here. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I'm sorry. I said I feel like it's gonna like you said, like the music artists, they need to be in control. And I feel like it's gonna break its way back the way it was and a little bit of what's going on now, like a
Oh,
mixture.
definitely. There's gonna be a merging of the two. It's already happening, but it more so once that understanding that they need each other, then it's going to be, respectfully. It's, how like we having this trending conversation about certain old school artists who don't like new school artists who
Mhm.
disrespect old school, and you just
Yeah.
mad because we making more money, and or we don't have to do it that way no more. We do it this way. That
Yeah.
back and forth. That that's the fog that we got to make it through right now. And once we do that, oh, it's on and popping. So I'm looking
Yeah.
at it, but I'm also, as a gatekeeper, I'm still here to, make sure that the elements from yesterday are able to cross over, into today. And that's part of what I'm trying to do as an artist back in my roots, back in the South and back in a county in a state where there's, so much talent, and just trying to lay a blueprint,
That's
without,
amazing.
yeah, me and my team about, things being done right.
Mhm.
Um, I gotta take out a moment to celebrate them. Ben Starks, Ben Johnson, DJ FX Sound. Along with myself, we broken tremendous ground, and it's just because we're all positive minds. We all have commonalities in what we want out of this. Everybody's professional in their realm, and we all trust the next guy to be professional. And it's
Right.
all about those things. Um, and we do square business. So,
Right.
shout out to the team, and thank you again, Ms. Vaughn.
No problem.
Because yeah, like part of why I'm back and part of why we're having this conversation, why we're able to continue to do these things and help the youth create their own legacy, not
Amen.
legacy, their own legacy without losing
Legacy.
their integrity, without giving away exclusivity and things that they don't have to do just to achieve success in music. And so we got work to do, to say the
Right.
least. We got work to do, but we're gonna start where we grew up, and that's what we're doing now. All hail South Carolina, North Carolina, all hail the Southeast, everything from Virginia wrapped around to Texas. Um, you know, we're kin, we're folk,
Right.
and Welcome to the South is a song about us all being folk, and we look forward to showing you that, not only musically or performing, but visually with the video. We're looking at have fun with all these things, and make sure that the message correlates with everybody that we have these things in common with.
Right. And that's a great perspective. Like I believe that, you know, like you said, it was the talk about the new artists and all of that. If everybody just merged together, like it's just gonna be an explosion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you'll be able to mentor those, like look, I have the experience with this, and you have this, so we could just come together and make something spectacular. So I mean, that's a great perspective. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the new people that's entering tear down people that's been here and has been doing it, and vice versa. So that's a great perspective if everybody could just grow together and learn
Right,
together.
right, right.
Now,
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm good. I'm good.
Now your new song, Welcome to the South, like, I'm not a producer or anything, but my ears like hear like, is it with the the sound, was it live, like live band, or was that like a beat behind Welcome to the South?
Yeah. That is a question I'm going to let DJ Effect Sound
DJ
answer
FX.
because,
Yeah. So
yeah,
I like a lot of thinking outside the box, and just referring back to the conversation y'all had earlier about how some producers get so digitized and all the sounds the same. Well, FX Soundbox is more of it's a father son team. So shout out to my son 39. He actually gave me the foundation, right? And what I did was I took it and added live instrumentation within the record to give it the authenticity that you hear.
Yeah.
So, there's an 808 in there, you see what I'm saying, which is a digital sound, but there's also a bass line in there, which isn't. That's an analog sound. So it
Mhm.
gives it that feel, that certain type of feel to where, we're drawing in the younger generation, but we're also catering to the generation that likes live music and live instrumentation basically. So yeah, you heard right. There is some live instruments in there.
Okay, so my ears didn't deceive me because I was listening and I was like, "Oh, this sound like live," and I like the blend, like the live instrument, and then when Rell comes on the track, is like boom, like powerful, like you like, damn, let me rewind that back, within 15 seconds. Let me rewind that back because he come on there, Carolina. That's fire. It's just so fire to me, and I could definitely see that. Well, it is an anthem. I mean, the way it needs to be like on commercials and everything. Anything dealing with South Carolina, North Carolina. I mean, the way that track is, I think I know you accomplished what you accomplished with that. Like, that is an anthem. And was it played at the one of the games, the basketball games?
Yeah, so we were able to get it played at the Colonial Life Arena for the basketball players, and not only once did it play that night, it played it twice, and then shout out to DJ IM, he played it again at the next game and played it
Yeah.
twice. So that's a real achievement in itself, to where
yes,
we didn't even expect it to be you know being played in a broad situation like that, and we were actually blessed. Shout out to Bay Ray, he actually gave me the plug
Bay Ray.
to get us into getting it played there. So yeah, and we were actually at the game. Shout out to
That's so
Ben Johnson,
cool.
my man. We were actually sitting together, and it came on. So yeah, and I was actually able to capture it live. So yeah, it was played there. Yeah.
So DJ FX, I do want to get a little into you as well. Where are you from?
Originally from Kentucky, Fort Knox, Kentucky, Army brat. And then I joined the service, um, left Kentucky, basically came back to South Carolina because my family kind of migrated down this way.
Hmm.
So I stayed in Columbia. I was stationed at Fort Jackson, stayed at Columbia because everything was so centralized. My father lives in Atlanta. Sisters live in Florence. And that's pretty much it. I just stayed here. So I just basically call Columbia home now.
Okay. And how did you get started with DJing, like and just production? Like how did you get started with that? Like who was your influences and or mentors?
So I would say I listen to a lot of being a DJ and listening to different genres. I listen to a lot of producers. So on the hip hop side, you got Premier, you got Pete Rock, you got Large Professor, you got Havoc of My Beat. On the R&B side, I mean, the list just can go on and on and on. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I just pulled everything that I've listened to and liked and kind of molded together to create our own style. My son and I have two different styles, which is sweet because not only will you hear the way we put together the records, but he may take the lead on some records and it sounds completely different than what I would do, but it's from the same company. So yeah, but the inspiration across the board, you know, Wu Tang, RZA, you know, all of them. Like I
Oh
listen
yeah.
to all of that, and I pulled the inspiration from all of them.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing. Who are some people that you were able to work with and collab with?
Wow. So Wu Tang, Method Man, Master Killer, AB Money. Shout out to AB Money.
Mhm,
That's my man. Prodigy from Mobb Deep before he passed.
mhm,
Rest in peace.
mhm.
Tragedy, Mr. Cheeks from the Lost Boys, Big Bub Today, Easy Mo B. I didn't produce on the record, but we are both teammates on the same project. So, and the
Right.
list just goes on and on and on. So yeah, I got some heavyweights behind.
That's amazing. And as far as like now, like what are some ways that you help music artists like up and coming or um the mainstream artists as well? Like what are some ways that you help them elevate?
Well, what I normally do is I kind of break it down to where they may have a certain style that I don't particularly listen to. So I can't really give them an honest critique on what they should do, but I will give them an example of what I do when I have a project that I'm working on, or if I'm working with a unique artist that is more on the soulful side. Just learn that artist. Like, so if it's an artist, I mean, a producer, I'm sorry. So if the artist is asking me, well, what should I do? Right.
Mhm.
Then he needs or she needs to look at the producer and see how they produce, because a producer can produce one way, but it may not be for that artist. But that artist is trying to force his way on that record, but it doesn't sound right. So it has to work as a unit. It has to work as a team.
Right.
And that's one thing that I share with young producers and young artists is to ensure that you make sure you kind of stay in your lane. It's okay to jump out of it a little bit, but don't jump out too far to where you'll sound crazy on the record and it doesn't mesh well. It doesn't blend well. Just like what you said
Right.
with Welcome to the South, you know, that record is like 10 years old, you know, and Rell was on the hook, and
Uh-huh.
then my man Ben Johnson, he was like, I want to do, it. I said, okay, let's do it. So I went after Rell, asked him, could he finish it? He finished it, and as you heard, it came out amazing. It came out
Yeah.
amazing. So that's what I mean by getting the right person for the right record to make it sound exactly the way you want it to sound, the way you want it to come out.
And it's a timeless piece to me because it's just one of those. I mean, honestly, I thought it was, you said 10 years ago?
Yeah, I produced. My
Wow.
son and I produced that record about 10 years ago. Yep.
Now it sound new. It sound new. I'm like, what?
What's up?
I mean, that to me, it just has that timeless sound. You know what I'm saying? And um, if they do, they have so many like different TV shows. I can't keep up. But if they do have one and it's based out of the South, they need to just, play that. That will be dope. Hopefully
Yeah,
they'll
that's
have like a
it. That was
show.
the intent. That Vaughn, that was to be honest, that was actually the intent to pay homage to Carolina, all the South Side, Southeast locations,
Yeah.
and now they have an actual anthem to rock out to.
Yes. Well, that's dope. That's dope. And
Thank
how was the collaboration process with you and what Rell? Like how was that for y'all working together?
Oh man, it was magic. Like literally, I'm not kidding you. We got together in the studio. We linked up through a mutual guy, and when I met him, it was all love because I've been a huge fan of Rell forever and a day since it came out. And to me, for me to actually work with him was a blessing, and I was on cloud nine because I knew the type of artist and singer he is, and
Yeah.
that soulful realm is that's where I want to be. So it was really quick and easy. I mean, it was great. The collaboration within the studio, within the music. I can send him some records. I can send him a rough draft, and he already knows where to take it.
Right.
So when you have an artist like that and of his caliber, it's very easy to produce records for him. So
Right.
it was like it's an enjoyment. I'm telling you, man, it's really fun to produce for somebody like Rell. I enjoy it.
Yes.
Ms. Vaughn,
Yes.
in conjunction to what he's saying, I kind of touched on it earlier, but I wanted him to be the spokesperson for the production aspect. We're not going to get into everything DJ FX Sound actually
Mhm.
does because that's nobody's business. But we're going to say that I have been searching for a very long time. It's not to say that I didn't find it before,
Mhm.
but for whatever reason, we weren't able to grow, expand, just build on, you know, things at that moment. But I've always been on this search for, a sound that represents what, I deem the Southeast is. And just from a Carolina perspective, we
Right.
have that, in Georgia. We have that in Florida. We actually had in Florida before we had in Georgia. So, just keeping all things in perspective. Um, I pay homage to gospel because vocally that's where I learned how to be strong with a microphone in my hand, how
Right.
to provide people therapy. Spirituality, gospel, you're providing therapy first, so this whole means of service through the creative process is what I fell in love with. I love the creative process. Because of the creative process, I'll do music until I die.
Mhm.
Um, and so finding a producer who understood without you saying it, this is just, he's already in that realm
Right.
where live instrumentation and 808 don't collide, but marry. It's a matrimony, and with the right percussion, bringing all these elements together. It was a joy. It's a treat. It's a good thing to have, especially when all you want to do is just do well with your music. Make sure that there's something therapeutic for the crowd you're going for, and just rep your set. And South Carolina is my set. You know what I mean?
Right.
Bowman is my home. We're a small town within Orangeburg County, but uh, as an R&B artist, I've traveled already, so I know
Mhm.
what the Southeast looks like, and
Right.
there are many commonalities. So that gave me the confidence you know, to allow Welcome to the South to do what it's doing. With your help, we're going to see a lot of success. Organically, we're seeing success. Shout out to the team again. But with the help of you and others and continued strategies among us, Welcome to the South, is gonna do everything that we needed to do. It's bigger than us. It's not
Right.
about us. It's just about that good music, landing into the hands, the hearts, and the ears of the people, and just making things a little better. That's all.
Right.
With in our way. I appreciate your constructive criticism of Welcome to the South. I love to hear that as a strategist and as a lover of the creative process. So these things aren't they're tools, you know, they're tools that we use. So I appreciate your comments. We're on deck for whatever you need.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say, I like that sound is our sound. It's always been our sound, but now we're just putting a little Carolina stamp on things. That's all. And hoping that it reverberates, throughout the country. And and just like I said, like you said, turn into that classic uh 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 therapeutic anthem that they're going to play for years to come. Because and I'm going to slide this in. Wait till y'all see the visual. That's what's going to bring all this home.
Okay, yeah, that's
It's
what I
gonna be
want to
like,
see.
they're going to be like, where is he? That looks like that look like down the street. Where is he at? And because it's going to represent everything that people from the South are. And so we looking forward to that fun mix. And I'm gonna drop it back in the hands of the producer, because I just wanted to shine light on the fact that he touched base on he touched bases on those elements where, again, 808 live instrumentation. And then when you said it, and these are conversations that we have as team, and it's like, man, I can already hear this on stage. Like, I can hear drums and all these other elements. Even though it's a track, I can hear this track being performed live. And so that's what
Exactly.
we always want to have. We always want to be able to do that. With our production. We wanted to be in a place where it sounds dope as a track, but it sounds just as dope or even doper, live, when we're able to, really play around. So, yeah, I'm excited, to say the least. Really, like, really excited, like I've never been, because, I got some good people around me. DJ FX Sound, without knowing me, he got me. Without
Right.
knowing him, I got him. And now, now we brothers. What we doing is actually transcended, music itself. It's just, I want him to do well in life, and I'm behind him in all his aspirations, and he with me. And so that's just where it is now. And, you can only do good business when, that's your foundation.
Right. And I feel like you guys make an amazing team. And I just want to say, I'm all about honoring people in general. And when it comes to music, like, I love to listen to music, and I just like to honor those music artists that I feel like they put their soul into their music, you know what I'm saying? And just to like watch you on TV and hear you on the radio, it's just an honor just to be able to have you on with Vaughn. And I'm definitely gonna tell everybody about the song. So if you get a message from me like, hey, you might want to get on this show, I'm just gonna send it out to you and see how you feel about it. But I just really think like everybody should hear you just listen to Welcome to the South and more stuff that's coming out, because I feel like I was jumped. Like, I wanted that album from you so bad, and I got Love for Free, and then I was just like, okay, where, and I know that you love music too. So it's just like, as a person that was there, like, I was a big Cash Money fan, Roc-a-fella fan, like, and I was just waiting for that album to come out. But now I'm just waiting for whatever else you got coming. So, hey, whatever you got, just send it over to me. Like, I'll just really be so honored just to have it. But I'm so glad that you were able to like speak with me and speak with the audience and let us know what's going on.
The honor is mine. The honor is ours. Speaking for myself right now, you guys are keeping me prevalent. I'm from the Rockefeller era. And I'm humble and grateful and well manifested to the fact that you know second opportunities don't always. That's not the norm. You know, and so I'm grateful for this opportunity, but I'm also a walking testimony for a lot of artists that second opportunities do come. Don't quit. To anybody that's going to hear what I got to say, you want my advice? Don't quit. There's no one road to success. Any road can lead to success. If you believe in your success, just don't quit. You know what I mean? Keep the Boy Scout, Girl Scout backpack on and just stay prepared, because that's when, that's when it happens. It happens when you're prepared. It's not about time, it's about timing. And so the only way to be prepared, through the laws of timing, just simply have everything you need on deck. And that means staying in the mix. That just stay in the mix until, you manifest what you need for yourself. Don't listen to anyone else. Don't listen to anyone else. I'm walking living proof. We're back at radio and we're back on podcasts like this. Shout out to Ms. Vaughn and her entire team, all your affiliates, because like I said, these things keep me prevalent. And shout out to a lot of other unsung artists from my era, before my era, because the truth is, a lot of them, they just kept their integrity. That's why you don't hear from them anymore. It's like, and some of them are actually back in the mix too. But a lot of them just kept their integrity. It's not because they did anything wrong, or it's not because they fell off. I don't like this fell off phrase, but
Yeah, I don't
it's
like
not
that
because of
either.
any of those things. It's because the game changed. They decided in certain ways they couldn't change with it respectfully, and they got up from the table. Period. That that's what happened to a lot of them. So hopefully you guys will be surprised through a lot of what we got going on. We intend to revive a lot of them. The ones who can still perform. So it's no telling what you're going to see at a Rell or FX Sound or any of our productions. It's no telling. It's never going to be the same thing. So we're always going to be something to watch. We intend to keep you on your toes that way. So, we look forward to this process work that we're about to take on. And again, like I said, shout out to all the unsungs, and shout out to all of the up and comings. Stay in the mix, be smart, learn from all the mistakes from the past, and, do your thing. We're in your corner. We rooting for you.
I'm rooting for all of you. Now tell us where we can find you on social media, and tell us where we can find you as well, DJ FX.
Go ahead, Rell.
Okay. I'm on Instagram at Official Rell Music, YouTube at Official Rell. I'm on TikTok at, oh goodness, I gotta get back to y'all on that. On my TikTok information is on my
I'll find it.
Instagram.
No
So
worries.
we'll but I'm on Instagram. I'm there all day. Facebook also, Rell Gaddis, Gaddis. So I'm here, guys. Follow me. It's going to be a lot of things going on. And we look forward to connecting with you. FX, it's on you, bro.
All right. So on Instagram, I am at FX Soundbox 12. On TikTok, I am at official FX Soundbox. And for Facebook, I am f.x.soundbox on Facebook. So, yeah. And like I said, Welcome to the South is actually out on all streaming platforms. It's doing very, very well. We're getting a lot of really good feedback, from all social media, everybody checking in from across North Carolina, South Carolina, and we're responding back to everybody. So if you check in, we're going to check in with you as well. So like I said, Welcome to the South, DJ FX featuring Rell, out on all platforms. Thank you, Miss Bonnie, for actually having us and hosting this interview too.
Hey, well,
I
thank
got
y'all
one
for
more
coming.
thing.
Sure.
So I got one more thing. Rell, TikTok, at official Rell _ 803, guys. Because I'm definitely on a rampage on building up my TikTok page. At official Rell _ 803. Follow me, leave your comments, let me know how you feeling. Let's connect.
You just wait, Rell. You gonna get sick of me. I'm gonna be on my TikTok with I'm gonna be on my TikTok with the shits. You about to see. I'm gonna get
Great.
everything cabal together. But on this video, y'all, just click the comments. I'm gonna have their links there. It's on YouTube. So follow those links and please stay on the journey. Did you guys have anything, any shout outs before we end this?
So I want to shout out to my man, my business partner, Ben Johnson, we've been down forever and a day, man. He is part of this glue that actually put us all together. I want to shout out to my man Starks, who actually hooked us up with this great interview, Vonnie. I think y'all know one another. And
What up, Doc?
AB, of course, Rell, you know what I mean? Like that, yeah, I'm telling you, we got some amazing, you think Welcome to the South is great, and which it is. Don't get me wrong. Because we're gonna push and push and push, push. Welcome to the South is it. But the album, oh my goodness. That's it. I'm done. Go ahead, Rell.
Look,
Go ahead.
I can't sing like Rell, but Carolina.
Oh, Carolina.
Yes. Yes. Hey.
I'm silly, y'all. I had to do it. I'm silly. I had to do it.
All right, I got a few shout outs. I want to shout out my team. I want to shout out Mr. Ben Johnson. Thank you for for your perspective. Thank you for your belief. I want to shout out Ben Starks, young boss. Thank you for your belief. Thank you for all your innovative thinking. I want to thank DJ FX Sound. Man, listen. Yo, bro, I got you. Let's make it happen. I want to shout out Bowman. I want to shout out Orangeburg. I want to shout out South Carolina, Columbia, Charleston, all the cities, all the artists. I want to shout out the Southeast. I want to shout out New York. I love you. Thank you for making me a New Yorker. All these things they led to where we are. And I'm just grateful. I want to shout out all the artists here in South Carolina again. Stay inspired, stay motivated. Stay chipping away at your craft. Like again, I'm in your corner. I'm here if you need me. My team, we're going to be around. So I want to shout out all the DJs that I'm affiliated with, and who I'm yet to be affiliated with. But I look forward to connecting. I'm thankful for the relationships I had with all of you guys over the years, all of my producer friends, artist friends, peers, just everyone I connected with. We're about to make a big push and do great things. And, I'm grateful for all of you. Every fan, every follower. Shout out to the pack. My Wolf Pack on Instagram. My alias is Black Wolf. We're going to get into that later. But shout out to also my boobies, Naya and Dre, my son and daughter. I love you. Shout out to my family, friends, to everybody. I love you all, and that's it. Let's get it. Let's really get it. Let's get it.
And thank y'all for listening to On with Von, and make sure you click the links here and get connected.